When I say the name Tom Glavine, you probably think Major League Baseball, Hall of Fame pitchers. Yeah, that's all true. But after a family friend was diagnosed with cancer many years ago, Tom wanted to make a difference. So he started focusing on raising money and awareness for childhood cancer. He is on the CURE, Childhood Cancer Advisory Board, and joins me today with ways to help everybody with childhood cancers. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
It's a heck of a story.
Well, thank you. Yeah, it all started out of, a situation where a child in our son's elementary school was diagnosed with Ewing sarcoma. And like so many families in the school community, we signed up to bring a meal to the family one night and kind of help out and try to do our part, so to speak. And along the way, having conversations with the family and some other families and learning how little was being done for childhood cancer, it was something that we wanted to get involved with, particularly my wife, Chris. At that same time, there was another child diagnosed with the same cancer. My wife began following his story on CaringBridge, and sadly, which is the case so often, one child survived and is thriving today, the other child didn't. And that's where my wife really wanted to get involved and make a difference. And
where are we in the treatment of childhood cancers in America?
It's kind of good news, bad news. On the one hand, we talk about the 80% survival rate, which is great, considering 50 years ago it was down around 10%. But I think where that number is a little bit skewed is that that's been largely due to the strides that have been made in treating leukemia. Sadly, we have a 24% increase in childhood cancer in the last 40 years. And unfortunately, our kids are being treated for childhood cancer much the same way they were back in the 1970s. So on the one hand, the survival rate has gone up, but on the other hand, there really hasn't been a whole lot of new stuff going on in terms of treatment or drugs that are geared and targeted towards childhood cancer.
And maybe the survival has increased perhaps because we got better at diagnosing it earlier, but just like you said, the treatment has really not changed. So what is CURE?
Well, CURE is a local grassroots type of organization that really has come in to try and help families along this awful journey. From the moment the kids are diagnosed with cancer, CURE is there certainly to answer questions, get them going in the right direction. And then they provide, financial assistance where families need it. I mean, look, when a child's going through cancer treatment, life is put on hold.
That's right.
A lot of times families, one parent can't work anymore, or both parents don't work anymore, or, things of that nature, and there are bills that add up. So CURE certainly does their part with that, but they've also been tremendous at raising money and gearing that money towards research and trying to certainly find cures to all these awful diseases.
So how is that going, the raising of the money for treatments?
It's been going well. Unfortunately, the funding that takes place at a federal level is woefully low. Less than 4% of the budget that is allocated towards cancer research, less than 4% goes to childhood cancer, which in my mind is despicably low. So CURE tries to come in and certainly do their part to bridge the gap, raise money. They just announced last month that they have $2.5 million that they're giving for grants and fellowships that will be directed to some of the top cancer research institutes in the country. So it's a grassroots effort. Like I say, it is trying to do their part to bridge the gap and continue to get that money in the hands of the doctors for that much needed research.
When you say it's a grassroots, it's the intent of CURE to grow nationally in a more broad base to other states? Because right now it's located where?
Right now it's located in Atlanta. Right. We have some other events throughout the country that gear their fundraising towards CURE. But yeah, predominantly it's in the Atlanta area now, but I think that's what we're trying to do at a national level, not only for CURE, but with childhood cancer, is raise awareness. Right. September being Childhood Cancer Awareness Month, go gold in September for childhood cancer. So so much of it is just getting it on people's radar screen, and then much like it did with my wife and I, and then wanting to find out more and just realizing how little is being done.
One of the things that you know better than anybody, even when a child survives a cancer, there are long-term chronic health issues, and your organization also looks into that, right? We do.
Certainly there is guidance beyond the survivorship, because as you say, look, it's Unfortunately, with childhood cancer right now, it's kind of a hodgepodge. There's so much thrown at these kids to try and to kill the cancer. What ends up happening is there's damage to everything else in the body as well. And somewhere down the road, the problems that these kids have with their health down the road is tough. I mean, it's a tough battle. On the one hand, they beat cancer. On the other hand, if they're fortunate enough to do it, they've got this other battle later in life. Right. So I think what Cure has really tried to do is look into and try to fund targeted research that will go into killing the cancer cells without killing the cells around it, without killing the organs around it. That type of or therapy, that type of research really seems to be showing some progress and some promise. So I think that's really where they're geared right now, is how do we do this without throwing the kitchen sink at these kids, so to speak, and damaging so much around the cancer that we're trying to kill.
So I have people out there watching. They'll say, Tom, I got the message. I got the word. How do I get involved?
Well, go to curechildhoodcancer.org, and you'll see some of the things that are being done, and you'll get some ideas. Look, there's so much of it starts small and ends up big. You know, a couple of examples of the things that we've done in Atlanta. September, we have a lot of the schools in Atlanta, and actually there are 4 other countries that are participating. Coins for Cure. So for the months of September, gather that loose change around your house, bring it in, put it in the pot at your elementary school, your high school. Right. All that money is going to Cure. We've done 4 quarters for Cure. Local football games, we pass the hat every quarter and raise money. And you'd be surprised how these little things really grow. So those are just a couple of the ideas that we've been able to make big strides with.
Yeah, because I'm familiar with your organization, and I know you see a lot of these organizations, you send in a donation, which is always appreciated, but you really want to get people involved. You want the activity, especially the young generation, and you're doing it through different ways. And I think also if young adults learn the responsibility of helping others, which is one of the mantras of Cure, it goes a long way.
No, I agree, and I think so much of that, obviously the money is a big deal, right, and it helps a lot, but I think so much of it is just making people aware and getting people aware of what the problem that's out there. Look, I think we all know somebody, it seems, that has a child that's been diagnosed with cancer, so it's a big problem in our country, and I think people would be surprised to learn how little is being done, and hopefully they'll want to get involved.
All right, give me that last website again.
curechildhoodcancer.org.
All right, well, thank you. It's a great honor and wonderful work that you're doing to bring awareness on childhood cancers. Thank you so much.
My pleasure. Thank you.
And if you have any health questions, send them here at Fox, at drmanny@foxnews.com. Until next time, I'm Dr. Manny.